What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. And there's a lot of controversy going on here in Washington, D.C., well, and a lot around the country on this bill that would have provide extra health care services to veterans that was at the very last minute blocked by the Republicans. Apparently, this was in retaliation by the Republicans for the bill that the Democrats are potentially going to pass, known as the reconciliation bill. And there's a lot of controversy over this. Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here on this. You can see this headline here: Callous GOP fist bump, referring to Republican Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. That Republican Senator Ted Cruz gave a fist bump to Republican Senator Steve Daines from Montana shortly after the Republicans managed to block the PACT Act, which would allow soldiers, sailors, and airmen exposed to pits of smoldering waste in combat zones to be covered by the VA, the Veterans Affairs Healthcare System, for linked illnesses, many of whom are suffering from cancer. This bill was set to pass, and you could see here the surprise Republican resistance to the bill was apparently payback after the Republicans were outplayed by the Democrats earlier in the week to win a passage of the sweeping $740 billion package to increase taxes on the wealthy and corporations and invest in climate change measures and health care and reduce inflation, known as the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Pennsylvania Republican Pat Toomey categorically rejected the idea in a brief hallway interview with Huffington Post, saying, quote, "Let's be very clear, that's a lie. If anyone says that to you, they're either very ignorant or they're willfully blind. That's just being dishonest, so let's be clear." But if his objections were related to how the bill would be funded, that he made those objections back in June, why are they concerned with how to pay for veterans who served our country at the very last moment? Let me know your thoughts here. Here was Senator Ted Cruz's response. This is what is bringing a lot of controversy here. Here's the footage. Yeah, you could see Ted Cruz fist bumping here after they rejected the bill here to give health care to veterans. Doesn't seem like a funding issue to me. Seems like they were proud of it. I don't know. You let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Yeah, some of the response on Twitter were not very good, saying only totally soulless politicians would fist bump each other after denying critical veteran benefits just to own the libs, aka the Democrats. Those with souls would never actually play politics with soldiers' lives. Yeah. This disgusting fist bump is between Senator Daines and Senator Cruz. Yeah. This is the fist bump that everybody needs to be talking about. Okay, let me know your thoughts here. Here's what Jon Stewart had to say. Let me know your thoughts here on this.
Senate time. Do you understand? You live around here. Senate time is ridiculous. These live to 200. They're tortoises. They live forever and they never lose their jobs and they never lose their benefits and they never lose all those things. Well, they're not on Senate time. They're on human time, cancer time. Don't you have families? Don't you have people who are deciding how to live their last moments? I know some of them. They've been down here advocating with us. They spent their remaining time advocating so that other soldiers didn't have to face the indignities and the depravity and the desperation that they faced. And none of them will hear it. And none of them care. This is an embarrassment to the Senate, to the country, to the founders, and all that they profess to hold dear. And if this is America first, then America is.
Yeah, so Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will give, quote, our Republican friends another chance to pass the burn pits bill for our veterans who have served our country. My brother's a veteran, and my grandfather was a veteran who served at Pearl Harbor 2 days before Pearl Harbor hit. So, if you're a veteran, thank you for your service, first of all. Second of all, this is the type of thing that really makes me sad that Congress can't come together, whether it's literally Republicans and Democrats that getting back at each other for one thing or another, because this type of thing happens all the time, which is just deplorable, unbelievable. Or if it's funding, and this is the problem that we hear all the time. Tupac literally said it best. They got money for war, but they can't feed the poor. Very similar type of thing here. They can't. They literally can't have money for our veterans when they have cancer from burn pits from when they served our country. So, I mean, Republican Senator Pat Toomey is saying, oh, no, it's not because we wanted to get back at the Democrats. When you see Republican Senator Ted Cruz fist bumping another Republican senator there after they voted no, why is he fist bumping him? Is it be it sure it's just like, okay, well, if it's not because of that, why are you fist bumping him? You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. It doesn't seem like it's a money issue. You wouldn't be fist bumping somebody after you voted no there. If that was the case, it seems like you're trying to, what people are saying on Twitter, own the Democrats there, get back at them, you know, because this is the games they play in Congress, guys. It really is. But then the problem is the people here, you, me, and our veterans in this case, are the people that take the brunt of it, not the congressmen and the congresswomen. Um, Unfortunately, yeah. So hopefully the people getting you, me, and all of our family here on YouTube and everybody across the country here that knows about this can make a big enough stink about this and a lot of other issues that really deserve Congress's attention to get this bill passed and a lot of other bills passed. That's why I always say, or hopefully I say it enough, call, email, tweet, write, and let your voices be known on so many issues, whatever you think is important. Um, they're your elected officials. And if you don't think they're doing a good job, vote them out, whether they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever. Um, yeah, and again, I'm not from either party, and that's why I like to look at everybody's job individually when they are doing their job, and vote accordingly. I don't like to always vote Democrat. I don't like to always vote Republican. I know a lot of people that do that. I know people from both sides who always vote Democrat and always vote Republican. I just don't believe in that philosophy, because I would never vote for somebody just solely because they're a Democrat or solely because they're a Republican. I just don't. I don't personally feel that's the right decision. What you can let me know your thoughts in the comments, but you got to look at the person. You got to look at what they believe in, and if they've already been in office, you got to look at what they've done, what they've voted for, their actions, how they've carried themselves, and if you feel they've done a good job or not. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Hopefully, we can get this bill passed. And, we have seen some bills passed here, some with controversy, some with not. The thing about a lot of these bills that have been passed, like the CHIPS bill that has been passed, the semiconductor bill, ultimately, even like Bernie Sanders had, some criticism about that. And, maybe there's some what we would call pork in that bill. It's maybe a bloated bill, maybe you could say. and there's no pay for for something like that. Ultimately, though, like I kind of feel that that is a good bill in general because I'd rather have those jobs be here in America, semiconductors, computer chips, cell phone chips. I'd rather have all those jobs and those plants be made in America. They're going to be building semiconductor chips and plants here in America, tens of thousands of jobs made in America. Right now, a lot of these are made over in Taiwan, they're made over in China. All of these things are, the majority of them are made overseas. Now they're going to be tens of thousands of jobs made in America. Okay. And of course, nothing's going to be perfect. We're going to see a lot of controversy over these bills. And there's going to be, and again, it's a bipartisan bill. We're going to see a lot of, probably over the course of the next several months, we're going to see a lot of people saying, I told you so about this, that, or the other thing. That's where like Bernie Sanders came in and said, he's going to probably say over the next couple months, I told you so. We should have had this, that, and the other thing. We should have had more guardrails on the bill. That's the problem with a lot of these bills is the so-called pork, but that's the problem with Congress with a lot of these bills is that getting them perfect is tough. What's that old saying? The enemy of passing a bill is getting it perfect, right? That's not the exact saying, but you can, if you know the exact saying, you could comment down below here, short of me, pausing the video and looking it up here. But that's the problem here is that we've seen that with Joe Manchin here for so many months here trying to pass the Build Back Better bill. That's basically kind of what Joe Manchin has done. And look at what has happened here. Joe Manchin has basically looked for a perfect bill in his mind, one person's mind, really maybe two people's mind, Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, and look what's happened. No bill's gotten done. So that's kind of the problem when you look for a perfect bill. There's perfect is in the eye of the beholder, right? I could ask 10 Republicans here on the channel, viewers, and I could ask 10 Democrats here on the channel, and they'd have completely different ideas. And then I can ask 10 people in the middle, 10 independents or maybe realists here, and they would have 10 different ideas, right? I could ask 10 people about gun safety, far right Republicans and 10 far left Democrats, they'd have completely different ideas. When we talk about gun safety, I get some people that say all guns should be banned. Then I get some people that say, no guns should be banned. And then I get some people that say there should be some, um, gun safety rules, and that's why in general polling, that's where polling comes in. And when you look at poll after poll after poll after poll, you can get an idea of how the country feels, and that's where like in the last video when we talked about the guns, the banning of assault rifles, and I get that assault rifle is kind of a slang term. It's not what AR stands for, but assault rifle is just, it's a general term of what people kind of know of what an assault rifle is. That bill passed the House, but there was only like two Republicans that passed it. So that's the problem here is that we're probably not going to be able to pass that in the Senate. But the large majority of people, the people who kind of make up the middle and almost all of the left, there's some of the far right Republicans that don't agree with it. And I think a lot of those people are people that just in general think that they're going to take away guns and things like that, are the people that don't agree with it in general here. But the majority of people, I think it was about 70% of Americans, think that the sale of new assault rifles should be banned. Should be banned. And remember, they're actually not thinking, or the bill doesn't talk about taking away anybody's guns. This new assault rifle ban. It doesn't talk. So that's where people kind of get misconstrued. And I'll see in the comments here, they shouldn't take away anybody's guns. And again, this bill, this new assault rifle ban bill that passed the House, but doesn't have a good chance of passing the Senate because they would need 10 Republican votes. And that's where the roadblocks on a lot of these bills come, is that you need 60 votes in the Senate for everything except for a reconciliation bill, which this couldn't really pass through reconciliation. You need 10 Republican votes. So 70% of Americans think that assault rifles should be banned. This bill that passed the House but has a slim chance of passing in the Senate. Um, this bill is only for the banning of the sale of new assault rifles. It's for the banning of the manufacturing of new assault rifles. So remember that, and again, I get that assault rifle is kind of a slang term. It's a term. It kind of covers a variety of a whole bunch of different, weapons. And the thing here is that if you kind of seen somebody walking past your neighborhood with an assault rifle, kind of how would you feel? If you've seen somebody walking past your school with one of those, and that's where the majority of people kind of feel that, yeah, and I've seen a lot of veterans say, a lot of people who served in the army say it's not really, most people in the army and the veterans think that it's not really a place for it to be in the hands of regular everyday people. A lot of people think that you should need training to have and you look at a weapon like that, it's literally looks like a weapon of war, you know, and but still 3 out of 10 people, 30%, or it's maybe a little bit less because you always have a few people that say, I don't know, or I'm not sure. In these pollings, you still get a few people, um, so you get about 25% of people that say, no, I don't want anything banned at all. But again, the banning is just for the sale of new sales. And remember, I always get a few comments of people that say, but this would only affect the criminals. But you got to look when you look at a lot of these mass shootings that we've had here recently. A lot of them, actually, the shooter got them legally. The shooter got these assault rifles legally. They literally just went to this gun store and bought them. Yeah, believe it or not. So, in a lot of these cases, they're not going out on the streets and buying an assault rifle. So believe it or not, if you tried to go out to the street and buy an assault rifle, it's harder to find where would you go on the street to find an assault rifle? I mean, maybe you could find, a regular gun or something like that, but it's easier to find an assault rifle at the gun store. And that's what we're finding a lot of times here in these mass shootings because they can track it. And if you look up these, a lot of times that's what's happening. But as of right now, even though 70% of Americans, or somewhere around there, that was the Fox News poll actually, um, which is typically Republican. So that was the Fox News poll that showed that 70% of Americans wanted the sale and the manufacturing of those banned. It would not take away anybody who has those, but yeah, that it showed that 70% of Americans want to see that happen, but 99% of Republicans in Congress aren't going to vote for it. So that's where we see a little bit of the disparity between what Congress does and what the people want. So you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. You know, and it's not like you really go hunting with an assault rifle or anything along those lines. I don't know. I definitely asked my brother, who was in the army, and he said, I literally just talked to him about an hour ago. He said he didn't think that an assault rifle needed to be owned by just an average everyday person. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you heard my wife. My wife says an assault rifle is meant to kill multiple people. Um, quickly. That's what her thoughts are. You let me know your thoughts. What do you think an assault rifle is for? So this is, everybody's got a different opinion. I totally get that. That's kind of, what America's about. And that's typically where, in my opinion, I think that we should have, that's where voting comes in. Um, The issue we're having with voting right now, and we've had this for a decent amount of time here, is that it seems to be Republican versus Democrat. We don't really have a huge disparity. It's just Republican versus Democrat. We don't have a lot of middle ground here. Yeah. You could see my video here about the third party system that was just created, but we'll see if that gets any ground here. A third political party that was just created. Maybe that could create a little bit of a middle ground, and we could see more bills where we could see more middle ground getting passed. But let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But these are a lot of the big issues going on here in our country here today. Inflation, gun safety, the Roe versus Wade abortion issue with women's choice and pro-choice. 90% of Americans think that there should be, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, 90% of Americans think that there should be at least exceptions to the rule. So, like, we have the 10-year-old rape victim here who couldn't even get an abortion in Ohio because there's no exceptions. Even the pro-life people, 90% of Americans think there should be exceptions, especially when it comes to rape and when it comes to like women that could die because of miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies, that there should be exceptions there because like even like Ohio, there's no exceptions at all. So if you have a miscarriage and you need, to get the medicine to, um, for the miscarriage, or if you need to, if you have an ectopic pregnancy and the mother could die, they won't help you at all. So that's another issue there. 90% of people think there should be exceptions to the rule for a miscarriage, an ectopic pregnancy where the woman could die, rape, but yet a lot of states have no exceptions at all, even for the medication to help with a miscarriage. So this is where we're seeing a lot of issues here today with just two political parties that won't get along and won't come to middle ground. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And you can click here. Well, make sure to subscribe first so you don't miss out on new videos. You can click here to see that third political party that was just formed. And I'll keep you up to date if what happens with that. Or you can click here to see a major stimulus program, or actually two, that are going to be coming here soon for Americans. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.